Greetings, what it is. Welcome to Sequential Geek, comic book haul number 69, part 34. Let's get on with it. Sec G in the house. Time to chill, relax, absorb the 411, dig on the sequential viewpoints. What are we talking? Vision Comics has a half-off sale off and on throughout the summer, and now in the fall, they're trying to liquidate a bunch of books. They might be moving to a new location. So to help them out, if you are just southwest of Denver, check out Vision Comics and Oddities. Strange number 44. What's the big deal with this comic? Huh? Now that we're getting on with the haul. This is out of August 1992. It's a tie-in to the Infinity War going on right there. You can see that. This is the first appearance, physical appearance, of Cyttorak. He rules the Crimson Cosmos, this ancient being that influences Earth through magic, dark magic. In this story, Strange summons Juggernaut to help him reason with the dark god Cyttorak during the Infinity War. Now, Cyttorak, long before his physical first appearance here in issue number 44, Doctor Strange invoked Cyttorak when he used the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak for the first time in Strange Tales number 124, in a story by Stan Lee with art by Steve Ditko. Strange also used that trick to ensnare Thanos in those near unbreakable ribbons, Crimson Bands of Cyttorak, in the Infinity War movie. Just recently, also, though, you would say that Cyttorak was invoked again when Cain Marko, the stepbrother of Charles Xavier, claimed the Crimson Gem of Cyttorak in a lost temple. Doing so, the temple ended up caving in on him, and he had to utilize the gem to get out. And he still wanted to pursue his vengeful rampage against his stepbrother, Charles Xavier. Into the Juggernaut. That Cyttorak gem is now granting Cain Marko limitless strength, durability, as well that armor protects him from psychic attacks. Cat and mouse, check it. This nice stack going on. Of course, I'm going to give a shout out to Big Elbow because, in my opinion, anyone that grew up with these RSL comics on the reg, on like a turnout rack, as I was growing up with Marvel and DC, just find that really cool, and that is a channel worth checking out if you want some of the off the beaten path type titles. If you wanted to check out some more indie influences, I would suggest Big Elbow among the many other channels that I follow. Please check out my playlists, in particular Sequential hauls and tips would be one that I think would be a great start. And then my miscellaneous playlist is pretty much the news and promos, opinions, and book review. That playlist in itself is kind of like a miscellaneous promo. If I'm promoting people's channels, if somebody has something they want to point out or document for a minute, something with the hobby, check out that playlist. In general, just check out my playlist. They're dope. The channels that I follow are sick. Aircell, issue number 5, Sapphire. This one right here, Sapphire number 4 of 9, is out of 1990. It's an imprint of Malibu Comics. Barry Blair is doing the artwork. Story and art. That's right. Adults only. There we go. Adults only. Creator Barry Blair. Guest co-scripter is Elaine Defoe. Barry Blair continuing illustrations. Let's see if I can find something. I was flipping through one of the other comics I'm about to show. Pink Elephant had some adult scenes in it. Wow. Oh yeah, check out this dude. This is from what, 1990? This reminds me of the Von Baudet icon. I'm sure that's exactly what you're thinking of right now. Well, it's also a promo by this artist for Logan's Run. Sneak preview. think that this Logan's Run story from Adventure Comics is more based off of the novel, but you'll have to let me know. Awesome story. Logan's Run, one of my favorite movies. It stars Basil from Austin Powers. Cat and Mouse. Also want to do a shout out right here. XXXIV. I know he's got this affinity towards dragons, in particular these types of Asian tattoos. I got this girl with the dragon tattoo comic book from this AOK. I thought that was very cool. Roland Mann is the writer, Mitch Bird penciling. Wow. Very cool. No idea that the artwork was so dope. This is out of May 1991 cover date. It ran for 18 issues. Roland Mann doing the writing, Mitch Bird art. Very cool. You know, Mitch Bird, he also did the interiors on Jaguar God, issue number 2. This is out of August 1995. Frank Frazetta painting. This ran for a total of 7 issues, but there's actually 8 issues because the following issue after this is actually not issue 3. Issue 0 came out in February 1996. Written by Glenn Danzig, Mitch Bird doing the interior artwork. The Jaguar God is taken captive by cultists and used in their tribal sex rituals to manifest the feared empress, Jalpen, X''Alpen, from another darker dimension, Jalpen. Frank Frazetta painted this awesome cover, and I'm psyched to get this Verotic issue number 2. Were there multiple printings? Don't know. August 1995. Verotic. Los Angeles, California. Simon Beasley on the back cover. Cadence of the Dirge from January 1996. It's by Ronnie Prudhomme Jr. This art is by Brian LeBlanc from Gothic Limited. I looked at this. I was like, it only took me a couple of pages to look at this, and I was like, yeah. Love vampire comics. Skip ahead a few pages here. Actually, let's go back to Big Ol' Bo for a minute. Remember, he commented me a while ago something about what heroes to choose from for Latin American month. Yo, I gotta check. National Hispanic Heritage Month. As a matter of fact, it starts September 15th and it ends October 15th. Latin American Heritage Month. Goddamn, because I was going to point out, I wasn't sure. I thought it was like springtime. In any case, I thought this was very cool. First of all, because it's a nice bright red cover. It's a newsstand, and it's from 1990, cover date December. This is one of 12. And although this is written by Ian Rimmer with art by Mario Capaldi, the creator of Zorro is Johnston McCulley. In 1919, well over 100 years ago. And I'm thinking, you got the Scarlet Pimpernel, right? He was like a French agent working in England, posing as a French aristocrat or something like that? I'm not sure, but the Scarlet Pimpernel, and then you had Robin Hood right before that. So the first real, North American superhero, is that Zorro? Am I not mistaken? Let me know, y'all's feedback on that. Zorro, issue number 1, fantastic first issue. Ex Machina, issue number 1 and 2. This is out of 2004. The next year, they got an Eisner Award for Best Story, and I think her Best Title, and then the writer Brian K. Vaughan got a 2005 Eisner Award for Best Writer as well. Ex Machina out of Wildstorm. This is a 9/11 related comic book, which is why I got it. This guy's first appearance right here, Mitchell 100. He is the world's first and only superhero in this comic book, and he intervened during 9/11 and ended up saving one of the World Trade Center tower, and he ends up being elected mayor of New York City. So before he was mayor, he was known as the Great Machine, a hero who can communicate with and command any machine. It's a cool concept. Wow, we have a breakdown. I mean, the title in itself, just with that whole concept of him being able to control machines and this whole reboot of Ex Machina, the zeitgeist at the time with the Patriot Act, and then people were worrying about a next type of bubble after the dot-com bubble burst. And just, is this the beginning of the end of some type of 1984 world that everything is Ex Machina into, right? And people are like, no, nobody would Ex Machina anything. There'd be no censoring. So I thought this was interesting. On the second issue, he's got censored. Here we are, jumping forward about 20 years in the future. It's amazing. So I just kind of like that zeitgeist, the retrospective of Ex Machina. So I got these 2 issues here. 50% off sale, anything under 20 bucks over at Vision Comics and Oddities. So $1 for both of these. Great deal. Tony Harris artwork to Brian K. Vaughan's script. Turn of the century comic book. Starbrand. Felt like this was going to be some type of new turn of the century, some new beginning with Starbrand, and turned out it wasn't. It's all right. It is what it is. This was the flagship title of New Universe, October 1986. The rest of the titles came out the following month. This, I would say, is definitely the flagship title. It was my favorite title of the New Universe titles. DP7 was great. Cyforce and the rest. Spitfire, started off well. The fact that they wanted everything to be grounded in the real world, to make it more like the world out your window, how Stan Lee would originally promote Marvel. And there were some grounded aspects to the New Universe in general, but this character was very well grounded, and he contrasts very much to the current version of the New Universe character of Starbrand, which, either way you're going to cut it, it's great that they carried over some characters from the New Universe into the 616 today, into the main Marvel Universe. Though, I hope they change him, because the character today is like skinny and naive and nothing like this guy. This guy was cool. He wasn't worldly, but he had lots of life experience. Couple of girlfriends. One of them ends up having this baby, the Star Baby, and she died during its birth, unfortunately. This kid, at this point, the story was written by John Byrne, and I think there was one point in the story where the kid didn't want to let anybody die, and it was just becoming more of a super being from a superhero, which is fine. I just think John Byrne should have went all the way with that concept. I don't know what was holding him back at the time. Like I said, this is from 1986. So when John Byrne came on board with issue 10 after Jim Shooter kicked this off. John Romita Jr. art. Great story. Definitely more adult themed with this. But you also had the Marvel Man reprints from Eclipse. You had the whole concept of a superhero becoming more of a super being with those Alan Moore stories. And I think maybe John Byrne was influenced by that, maybe as well Veach, some of his stuff. Who knows? But that was a trend that was going on around the same time as the whole Star Baby story, how this concluded, which wasn't bad. I mean, I liked how it ended with that senior having the Star brand. It's a new perspective on being a superhero and superpower and so forth. Just nothing wrong with that. Just getting from here to that senior having it, that in-between stuff was, you know. I like Jim Shooter's run on this. I wish he had stayed. In any case, Star brand, great flagship title. This is the first issue. So much more that you can do with this concept. If you get a chance, check out the first good year of Star brand before it became more about being, like I said, a super being, less a superhero. So it's an interesting take either way. New Universe. One of the few New Universe titles that was great all the way through. That was then. This is now. Pop Scars number 5. Cover A. I got this just because of the cover. I thought it was really cool. This woman, Pinky, she is out for revenge, seeking to kill her famous movie producer father. Written by Pat O'Malley. It's the artist. Takes place in LA, published by C0mics. I took one look at this artwork, just figured, why not? She's very assertive. I like that. Pop Scars, $3.99. Cover by Senti. Out of January 2023, you got The Cauldron of Horrors. The second issue just came out last month in August. AC Comics. Great horror comics. Total indie vibe. I love it. Now this is a Patrick Broderick cover here on the right. That's Mark and Stephanie Heike on the left doing that cover work. Horror anthology. Loads of fun. I don't know much about AC Comics, but it's already a nice start. The Cauldron of Horror. Shout out to Comic Crypt of Castle Hills. Or should I say, Comic Crypt of Castle Hills. Comic Crypt of Castle Hills. If I said that right. Script and inks, Mark G. Heike. Jamie Castro layouts with Bobby Ragland finishes. Looking very much in the vein of pre-code horror. This fall, issue number 3. Cocaine Kaiju. Had to get it. 2 separate covers. Antarctic Press. Genius. $4.99 each. Sketchbook. Better than any Marvel comic you'll find the past 10 years, easily. Godzilla. I think Godzilla's got a straight up foothold in the comic book scene. I wish Kiss was producing more comics. The way this Godzilla brand keeps itself alive. This is from IDW, Andrew McLean. I think that's the same person that brought us Headlopper, the writer-artist from that comic. Jake Smith doing this artwork. This is the B cover. $4.99 US, issue number 1. Another Asian theme, Blade in the Dark. This just came out. This is out of Scout Comics. Another Asian theme, some samurai. I love martial arts. Definitely love combat being depicted sequentially, but there's more to this. It's got some artwork by Willie Roberts. Morgan Quaid script. I see here cover art Emmanuel Ercolandi. Emmanuel Ercolandi. It's like the mood that is set with this artwork, the tone, some serious composition going on that I just couldn't resist. That and monsters. Skip ahead a little bit. Nice. Blade in the Dark, Scout Comics. So it turns out, from September 15th to October 15th, 2023 is the National Hispanic Heritage Month. There y'all go. Big elbow, Mr. L comic box. Santos Sisters. This is awesome, this comic book right here. This reminds me of, like, you know, an old school Archie type of book. The artwork is kind of like in the vein of Hanna-Barbera. Kind of reminds me of Psycho KO from that alternate comic. Issue 5, Floating World Comics. Santos Sisters. Now, how do I pronounce these guys' names? F-A-K-E. Petre. Fakey. Petre. Fake. Fake. Petre. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce. The writer, you got Fake, Fake, and Greg Petre, and Mark Copriano brought us Santos Sisters, issue 5. This very cool artwork. Newsprint, by the way. No reason why we can't have newsprint. I think even some of the ongoing titles, ongoing publications from the big two, Marvel and DC, should be in newsprint. Bring the price down, start selling them in turnout racks, and now I'm just sounding like this faint echo of the 20th century. I'm dying breed, right? Physical entertainment, I think, is important, but probably find a turnout rack in the metaverse. Regardless, this is awesome. Newsprint, physical media, physical print media, why not? Bring that price of comics down. Awesome, we got a Halloween special to look forward to. Next to this baby back ribs ad. Chicago, Illinois. Boise Comics Festival. Some crazy classified ads. Really out there stuff. It says here by Greg and F-A-K-E, Fake. Fake. Pink Elephant. So it turns out this comic from Sumerian Press. It's from August last month, written by E.E. Pliskin. Art by Benson Shin from Sumerian, right? They bought Behemoth. It's a trip. So this these people, these kids right down in their 20s, they're in this cabin out in the middle of the woods, and they stop by this grocery store that's in the middle of nowhere. This innocent old lady, here she is on her bike, she's selling at the cash register tabs of acid. Looks like in some container that would have like gum, strips of gum or something. Very adult-oriented material. So these kids... starting to kick in the dosage, and it looks like they're getting stoked by whatever this is. Yeah, what could go wrong? Nothing threatening about this almost like evil Magi seeming old lady selling us acid in the middle of nowhere. Some cabin in the woods. No, what could go wrong? Having them tripping on acid I thought was a great touch for a horror story. It's not like it's unheard of. 21st century, so wow. All right, here's some of the book. Issue number 2, cover A. Dark titles. 7 Years of Darkness from CEX by Joseph Schmalk. Turns out they've got a bunch of variant covers for the first issue. There's always going to be an A and a B cover and like a retail incentive for your C. The Academy of Black Magic has reopened its doors for the first time in 200 years. 72 children will walk through the Academy doors freshman year, but only 7 will graduate and walk out alive. It's going to run for 4 issues. I hope it expands. Hell Witch. The B cover and the A cover. That's C0mics doing the cover on the left. Both of these just came out last month in August. Hell Witch Forbidden. Yeah, this is from Coffin Comics. They're branching out. Lady Death. Co-written by Mike McLean and Brian Pulido. Illustrations by Diego Bernard. Cover credits. Standard covers, C0mics. Matt Merhoff doing this B cover there. $8 cover price though, right? Let me know how these types of books are. I'm going to read this one and probably give the other one away. I am interested in y'all's feedback on titles like, Vampirella's got some great covers, but I've been hearing that their story arcs are kind of weak, forgettable. It's all good. Got a great run of covers. It's like nonstop. I say though, the interior artwork in this looks great, and it's got some action, as well as some drama. Adults only. Very cool. Hope that reads well. Some action. Hell Witch. I don't know which. But oh yeah. Mausoleum. So yeah, that comic book shop that I was referring, Vision Comics, Nutties, they got their own comic book anthology called Ad Mausoleum. They're branching out. They got up in their game. I'm definitely liking the stories that they're publishing. Who's doing it? The store owner, Chris Lanham, and then the other driving force is C0mics. So he usually gives himself 6 pages, and then the rest of the stories are like 4. I mean, I'm telling you, if anybody out there is into illustrating, Fred Hall DE, Mr. Direct Edition, come on, man. Give us 4 pages every 4 months. Have the BATAVENGER color them. This is Giselle. You have C0mics creation. He's done enough of these that he's starting to now just take the stories out and put them together as a comic. Cool. It's great supporting local talent, especially something like this that deserves it, in my opinion. Some great stuff here. Black and white. You know, that works too. Look at that. He's definitely up in his game. Enjoying these works out of Vision Comics and Oddities, just southwest of Denver. I'd say half an hour drive at the most. Let's wrap this up, shall we? We have another indie comic book here, limited to 1,500 copies. Usher of the Dead. There have been some one-shots with Usher of the Dead, but this one is supposed to be the first in their ongoing. Limited to 1,500 copies. This is the Thiago da Silva variant from Blood Moon Comics. Very cool. And that's all she wrote for Comic Book Haul 69, part of 34. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for giving me a chance visiting. Much love. Stay safe. Till next time. Peace. Holla.